Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is Roxanne. Hi. Waiting for a few people to join in. Hey. Hi. Hi, J1198. How are you? Where are you calling in from? Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Hi. Good evening. Welcome to our live. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. You could tell us where you're joining in from. Where are you joining? Okay. I'm coming in from the USA. Okay, great. Nice to have you. J1198. Nice to see you. Georgiano, nice to see you joining in. How are you guys doing out there? How are you liking the weather where you're calling in from? How is the weather treating you? It's kind of hot where I am, but it's all good. So welcome. We're just going to be talking a little bit tonight about how we can set boundaries, and I want you guys to participate. Great weather here. Oh, that's nice. Awesome, awesome. Very rainy. Oh, it's rainy where you are. Yeah, we're having all kinds of shift in our weather these days. It's been overall very hot though, but we're thankful, we're grateful. All right, so we're just happy to have you guys join in on our second live, and we just want to show some love. If you're joining in, just let us know where you're joining in from, and let us know what your weather is like where you are. Where are you joining in? Hello, hello. I see some new people coming in. Welcome, welcome. All right, nice to have you. Great weather. Okay, good, good. Okay, so we're just going to touch on something that everyone really wants to know, how to set boundaries in relationships. And I just want to hear from you all. How are you setting boundaries? How are you setting boundaries in your relationships? And remember, boundaries is it's a very important part of our well-being. It's actually putting yourself first, telling yourself that you care about you and you want to protect your space. So you have to make sure that you are actually setting boundaries. It's a very critical part of your self-love, self-care, and well-being. And I want to hear from you, first of all. How are you guys able to set boundaries? Is it difficult for you to set boundaries? Is it hard? How do you set boundaries at work? How do you set boundaries in your friendships and other relationships? How are you setting and maintaining boundaries? Give us some ideas. Let's share. Put it in the chat. Let's see how you go about setting boundaries in your relationships. Okay. Any ideas? How are we setting boundaries? Is it something we need to do in relationships? Do you see this as something important? For example, if you're at work and you're getting all these requests and you are not able to accomplish your work well, How are you able to actually protect your space at work? How are you able to set boundaries? How are you able to speak up for yourself? Or if you're trying not to engage in a relationship that seems to be difficult or toxic, and you already said you do not want this relationship, how do you actually say no to this person who is seemingly very toxic for you? Okay, I see somebody say J98 says, I try to say no more. Good, good. Yeah, very good. So you have to actually keep saying no. Say no, also tell them, and see Georgiana say no, also tell them you'll get back to them. Good. In a work setting. Yeah. So saying no is very important. You have to say the N word. Not everyone likes to hear that, but this is the first step in say, actually setting boundaries. Say no, N-O. Okay. So, and if the no is not heard, you have to persist. You have to actually persist. So a key tip in actually setting and maintaining boundaries, not just saying no, but actually when the request comes again, because some people can be persistent. So if the no comes again, you have to actually keep saying that, right? So be persistent. Make sure you're consistent. Remind yourself of why you're setting these boundaries to begin with. Because sometimes some people make you feel guilty when you're actually saying no. Okay, so do you agree with that? Do people sometimes, whether it's work or in a relationship, if you say no, do they make you, is there something that, they'll say or do to make you feel guilty? Have you ever experienced that? Yeah. If they keep persisting, you say no, but then they make you feel guilty. They could remind you of the things that you've done for them, right? Hi, welcome, Claire. Nice to see you joining in. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. All right, so we're just talking about setting and maintaining boundaries in relationships. And we have different kinds of relationships. And we have to learn how we actually set boundaries and also maintaining these boundaries. So sometimes in relationships, you say no, but people just don't get the message. They don't want to hear you say no. So you have to keep saying that, right? And they'll remind you of the things that they've done for you. So what are you going to do? Are you going to back down if you're setting boundaries? What are you going to do? And yeah, I see Georgiana say, yes, others make you feel guilty. Sometimes you just feel guilty saying no. And that is definitely normal because sometimes we have to say boundaries. We have to set boundaries to people who are, they're friends, they're good people to us. They're family members, and we're setting boundaries. We're saying no, and sometimes it makes us feel a little guilty. But remind yourself of the importance of, your personal space and self-care, and the reason you have to say no to begin with. Think about saying yes. Think about like what are some of the cons when I say yes. Sometimes I'm going to be overworked. Sometimes I feel pressured. This is not what I want. If this is not what you want, then you have to learn to say no, even if it comes with a feeling of guilt. That guilty feeling doesn't last forever. You just kind of, keep saying no, keep reminding yourself that you have to prioritize your self-care and well-being. I think that's a strong reminder. So saying no means you have to constantly remind yourself of the reasons you're actually saying no to this, person or situation. Okay, so great. Are there any other tips if we're setting boundaries? What are some other tips? If we're setting boundaries in a relationship, how do we actually set those clear boundaries? sometimes with maybe you're involved in a romantic relationship. How do you set boundaries with someone if they're not getting the message of no? What are some things that you're going to do? Any ideas? Any more ideas? Okay. Yes, so it's the same thing across the board. You have to prioritize yourself. Remind yourself of the reasons you're actually saying no. Try not to feel guilty. And you be persistent, be consistent in these no's, right? And over time, you'll get better at it. Okay, so those are some tips. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Nicola. All right, so it's nice to see you joining in. So we're just kind of talking through about self-care, the importance of setting and maintaining boundaries in relationships, and we're just reminding ourselves of the importance of setting and maintaining these boundaries. And it's difficult across the board. Sometimes work-related relationships, we have to say no to protect ourselves. Just imagine being overworked and you constantly say yes. And in yourself, it's actually a no that you want to say. So we're just here talking about that. And um, how do you think this will make us feel if we become better at setting and maintaining boundaries? How do you think this can help us? Any ideas out there? How does this benefit us in the long run if we start early, we start now setting and maintaining these boundaries? What do you think? What are some ideas? Welcome, welcome. Any other ideas? All right. So, yeah, eventually it's going to help you. It's going to help you. It's going to build your self confidence. You know what you want, and you learn to actually say what you want. And for some persons, that's difficult. Saying no is it's such a challenge, but over time, you become better at it. So it's going to build your self confidence. All right. Okay. So we just want to touch on something else here. We want to make sure that we are practicing our self-care this week. And the last time we came on our live, we asked persons to just share, what you are going to be doing intentionally for this week as you try to practice great self-care. Like what's something that you're going to, try your best to do? What are some, ideas that you're going to do for self-care for this week? And I hope that you're able to follow some of the videos that we've done already on self-care and relaxation. It's a big part of your mental health to practice proper self-care. It's critical. And we gave several ideas. So for some persons, it's just relaxing, taking time out to read. I see some ideas here. I'm going to try to get rest. Very good. To get some rest in this week. Maybe you have to separate yourself from work, from family a little bit, and just go ahead and do some self-care. I see Nicole is here saying boundaries help to clarify expectations. Very good, which decreases stress and unexpected requests. That is awesome. Very good. So boundaries really help us to clarify those expectations. And yeah, it decreases the stress level because you're not taking on anything that you don't necessarily want to take on or you don't need to take on. So, and once you begin to set boundaries, I believe that you're setting up, you're letting people know that this is what you stand for. So they might not try to intimidate you in any way. And one goal for this week, and Chloe sharing her self-care strategies for this week, is to walk in the park with my family. Excellent. I love that. I love that. So What are some other self-care things that we're going to do for this week? We could also try to incorporate our walks. Walks are so powerful. Just kind of laying back a little bit, whether we're walking by ourselves or with family. We That is a very good way of just kind of letting go of everything around you and just zoning out into a world where you can relax and de-stress. So awesome. Any other ideas for self-care this week? Guys, we have to do this. It's very important. It's hard to do, but we have to be intentional in doing it because after a while, you're going to realize that it works for you. So, what are some other things that we plan to do? Let me hear in the chat here. What are you going to try to do this week? Are you going to read a book? Are you going to go watch a movie? What are you going to do this week? Okay, so I see Georgiana here saying sleep more and, being sleep more and on a schedule as well. Okay, so that can be challenging too for a lot of persons depending on your work schedule. You might have to kind of force yourself to sleep at a particular time. So being on schedule is awesome. Getting that rest in because we want to feel rested. We don't want to be lying down in our beds and we're tossing around and we're really not resting. So it's good to practice proper rest and relaxation. So when you're in a bed, don't think about the problems. Don't think about the problems, right? If we have to count sheep, whatever we have to do, we're gonna keep our minds focused. Mindfulness is a good activity to practice, and it means that you're just kind of using your senses to stay grounded and just to focus on your present situation or your present environment, and you kind of make sure that you're not thinking through anything, so you're not having judgmental thoughts or negative thoughts when you're trying to be mindful. And once you hit the bed at night, you try your best to be mindful and try to sleep, rest, and recuperate. Okay, awesome. Any other one? Let's do another one before we wrap. What's another self-care that you're going to practice this week? So we have walks going on this week. We have better sleep patterns this week. Okay, great. Any other eat healthier? Nice. I like that one. Because sometimes we're so stressed, we can end up eating the wrong things too. So we have to be careful if we're, practicing proper relaxation and self-care. We also have to be intentional with our eating habits. So instead of grabbing for something that's filled with sugar, we could grab something else that's healthy. Maybe something like a healthy drink or smoothie or something that's or glass of water or something. But practicing eating habits that are healthy will make you ultimately feel better about yourself. And awesome. So Socia is sharing doing a spa this week. Wow, I love that. So getting in that spa time, getting away, it's like you're in a whole new world. You're zooming out stress and everything else, and you're doing spa. Very, very nice. And so we're being so intentional this week. I like the ideas, and I hope that you're able to log these ideas and see how they made you feel and feel proud of yourself too if you try to squeeze something in, right? Because it's difficult and we don't get enough time to do a lot of things that we want to do. So this week we're being so intentional in our care or relaxation, and we're going to see the benefit of this, especially over time. We're just going to try this week, right? So I don't want you to be too hard on yourself, but I want you to at least try. So great, awesome. Okay, so we're gonna end right here. So thank you guys for tuning in and for sharing, you know, what you're going to be doing for self-care, relaxation, and also for practicing setting boundaries, setting and maintaining boundaries in our relationships. Okay. All right. So great to have you. Have a great rest of your evening, night, wherever you are. I don't know the time, but you have a great rest of your day or night, and see you again next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you too. Thank you. Thank you. Blessing on you too. Bye. Bye. Take care. Bye. Thanks, everyone. Good night. Good night. Good night. Thank you.